we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode whatever of the Abuse Hour. I am tight on time and short on options, so this is going to be, a little bit of a rip-off, but it is I, your host, Coffee Long, unsupervised, unmedicated, unchecked threat to society, all that stuff. But yeah, dude, this is it is a perfect chance to shill the Telegram scene. If you're getting this on your Spotify, your iTunes, your YouTube, wherever, the real action, man, is on the Telegram. I recommend the Telegram, t.me/the Abuse Hour and associated chat. You're going to have to, just click like you're going to comment, and then one of the dudes will let you in if you're not a balloon head. Suffer a little bit of abuse when you get there, show you're not a weirdo, and it's a good time. But usually, yeah, like I put the shorter, quicker hits just out there, and it's a good conversation type topic, something short, something quick. But I wanted to get some thoughts out there, and I wanted to blast it out to everybody. I wanted to get some thoughts out there on this Chud situation, man, because I think there's a lot of sides to this coin, and I wanted to get some thoughts out there on it because I don't think this is a one-size-fits-all situation. So your Chud, man, the background on this is that this Chud the Builder guy, basically this Chud the Builder guy had to go to court in Nashville because apparently at some point he got thrown out of a restaurant in Nashville. I don't know what the situation was there. I don't know if he was doing his shtick there. I don't know if somebody just recognized him and said, hey, you got to leave. But one way or another, he departed the restaurant, whether of his own volition or otherwise, and did not pay the bill when he left. So he had to go to court for that. And after he was at court, he departed and had an interaction with a group of colored gentlemen. And what the exact nature of that interaction was, I can't say for sure. I have heard that the whole thing was videoed somewhere. That hasn't been released just yet, or I haven't heard that it's out there anywhere just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's not exactly favorable to Soul Brother like no other. So I realize I'm getting a little bit in the weeds on some of this, but I'm coming to a larger point. Anyway, I just wanted to get the background out there. So what appears to have happened is that by several accounts, including that of the Chud, he departed that interaction. A certain gentleman, somebody Foxx, Jamie Foxx, Alvin Foxx, Tyrone Foxx, some form of Foxx, who people are also saying was he a veteran with PTSD and shit. And no, just fucking stop it. Just fucking stop it, okay? Just fucking no, dude, all right? The guy did apparently 6 years. And honestly, you can get out and say that you got PTSD based on anything. I got PTSD because they was racist in me and shit. It was like a policy systemificated, and they discriminated me. So I got the PTSD in my foot, Sarge. I can't work today. This happens a lot, dude. I will not suffer any bullshit about this. He's a veteran. Get the fuck out, all right? Just stop it. I've seen how these Africans get down in the military, dude. It's like a fucking free ride. It's madness, but we can get to that another time. So he follows this Chud the Builder. Apparently, this field hand had posted on various forms of social media. I think it was the Facebook, but black Facebook. You know how these people are, man. And they got spun up about this Chud. And people are saying, people are dropping his live address, his home address, and somebody ought to go and handle him. Somebody ought to do something. So this guy, Alvin Foxx or Jamie Foxx or Tyrone Foxx, Fox man, whatever, he posts, yo, he gonna be near me. Should I does it? Should I goes and does it? I'm finna step up. I'm finna chimp out. And so apparently he was the guy involved in this conversation, and the Chud departed. This guy followed him, as I'm understanding it. This guy followed him. Confrontation ensued. The Chud produced a firearm, which apparently, if he was just coming from court, he was legally allowed to carry. Yes. So he was already not violating any laws just by having it, is what I'm understanding. And poor Tyrone brought his hands to a gunfight, and things did not go as planned. So Tyrone Foxx, or Alvin Foxx, whatever the fuck his name is, has shuffled off his mortal coil, and the world is a marginally better place for it, for my money. Now, the question, ladies and gents, the Shakespeare of the hour is, did Tyrone Foxx have it coming? Did Chud have his, ensuing arrest and charge of murder coming? Should he have been out there doing these kind of shenanigans in the first place? What are your thoughts on this? So I'm of several hands about this, right? I have a lot of opinions about this, and some might be a little bit contradictory, some might be a little bit situational. But, I mean, we don't live in a reasonable world. This is not a serious place. We live in a place where violent felons are literally imported and incentivized to breed and attack you. Okay? This is not a reasonable place. So, right off of the top, your Chud here, this guy, his shtick, he's some kind of a live streamer dude, and I don't know so much about him. I've seen some of his product. It's honestly not something I would do, but I'll get to that. So his shtick apparently had become this deal where he's got this very big, very recognizable mustache and a cowboy hat, and he rolls up oftentimes to groups of blacks, and I don't think he's rolling up to Thomas Sowell, for God's sakes, right? He's not rolling up to a black man just on his way to work trying to get by in this piece, right? He's not rolling up to him. He's rolling up to your hood rats. He's rolling up to them boys. They shucking and jiving on the corner and shit and doing what they do. And again, this is just the impression that I've gotten off of the few products of his that I've seen. Rolls up and he'll drop that hard R. He'll ask him, are you going to chimp out? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then that's his content. That's basically his content. So Black Twitter, Black Facebook, they're going nuts talking about they want blood. I mean, very clear, very obvious violent threats against this dude. Apparently the guy's dog has been killed. And also apparently he has a wife and kid. So I'll tell you straight off the top, just looking at things as they are, I'll say that there's a way things ought to be. I will also say that me live streaming the hard R is probably not going to be something that makes any adjustment to that rectifies that situation. You're not going to see some rectificationism of the situationification and shit. So I would probably not do that. Another part of my logic with that is that I always try to keep, like a contingency mindset, like if something should go a little bit sideways, what is my fallback plan here? So in my daily life, I'm going places trying to avoid high probability confrontation type areas. I'm not going out at midnight to the Club Tyrone and trying to hang out up in the club and shit. And then if something goes a little bit wrong at that point, what's going to happen then? If something goes wrong at that point, there will probably be a gun in play or fisticuffs in play or a knife in play. Like immediately. I have no room for error in a situation like that. So a situation like that, I try to avoid. And again, this is just me, man. Choose your own adventure. So the same way here, I mean, it's just like walking down the street, man. You walk down the street. Do you walk right the fuck next to the edge of the street? If you got to go to the subway or the train or whatever, do you stand right on the edge of the platform? Or do you stand a little bit back? You stand a little bit back, right? Because if somebody bumps you or you stumble, trip, flip, fall, you're going to land on your fucking face, get hit by a car, get hit by a train. You're not fucking Indian, right? So you stay the fuck back. You leave a little slack in the system. So that's me, man. If Chud made a different choice, maybe he's got his own logic. This is just what I think. This is how I typically roll. Further along, my thought process then is, if I'm behaving this way and I'm taking the steps to avoid these confrontations, if something is going to pop off, I'm going to have at least a little lead time, and I can either break contact or I can make the decision that I don't especially want to make, but in that situation where if I've had lead time and I have no other options, then I can know for sure that this is the choice that I have to make. Yeah, so I have to get it on. And now it's going to go ugly, but it's going to go fast, and it's going to be fucking sticky for Tyrone. But I can know with a clear head that, like, this is my only option. I got to fucking swing hard, and I got to roll out. So this is the way that I approach interaction with, especially with these field hands in this very unserious world that we live in now in fucking Thunderdome. Chud, he's not doing that, dude. And why he's doing that, that's his business. I'm not going to tell a man how to live his life. I'm just telling you what I think. I will tell you that maybe rolling like that, it's not especially dissimilar to the shit you've seen with like your Johnny Somali or some shit. Like, look, I'm going to go along and fuck with people and piss people off. You got your reasons for doing that. You're Johnny Somali, the same thing. You think you want to get likes. You think you want to get clicks. It's like that one, I saw a little clip the other day where there's some African fella walking up to white people in the grocery store and thinks it's fucking funny to look in their cart and be like, oh, that's the one I'm looking for. Oh, that's a perfect one. I'm going to take that one too. And starts taking shit out of people's carts right in front of them. And just kind of bitching them out, like you won't do shit about it. So they roll up to this one dude. This guy's got to be like 60. And start fucking with him and pulling shit out of his cart. And the dude just real casual, like pulls a pistol out of his pocket and just puts his hand back on the cart. And he's like, are you fucking with me? And then suddenly it's like, no, shit, no, I'm sorry, all right. And all of us, we look at that and go, what did you fucking expect? You keep fucking with these people, some bad shit's going to happen. So the same shit here, dude. I will say that, Chud, you keep fucking with people, some bad shit's going to happen. On the other hand, and again, like I said, there's a lot of hands to be the other hand here. On the other hand, you've got the situation where we all know that there's very much a two-tiered justice system here, where there's white people getting fucking held to a very high standard of behavior. Watch what you say. Don't you accidentally touch somebody, you'll be charged with fucking assault. You mind your fucking step. And if you fuck up, just like that college girl comes back to her dorm room drunk, some colored at the front desk flips her shit, and she drops that hard R, and suddenly you're getting job offers pulled, you're getting kicked out of college, you're all of this shit, and then trying to send her to fucking jail for some kind of like targeted harassment, hate crime bullshit over a spoken fucking word while you're liquored up. At the same time, you've got this shit where multiple blacks who have murdered, just outrightly, plain and simple, murdered white kids, and then come back and say, well, he called me a name. He called me the magic word. And getting let out with, 6 months probation? Getting let out after like 6 months. So like that Ethan Lyman kid got literally stomped to death. And you could say like, yeah, it was mutual combat. It was this, it was that. Dude, these Africans, if you engage with these fucks, they will do whatever they can to kill you. You have to keep this in mind. So this dude, these guys, they stomped this kid to death, and then they're out after 6 months. The guy wound up dead. You're out at 6 months. And then I believe, if I remember right, one of them went on to kill somebody else. But, you're not going to hear about that because it's not a big deal. These people are held to basically no standard of behavior. So looking at this Chud situation then, you could say that this Chud is essentially sacrificing himself to bring into stark contrast, into stark relief, what should be readily apparent to any idiot with an IQ above room temperature. Even though a lot of people, they'll just, I'm going to pretend I don't see, I just close my eyes, and it's like it's not happening, but they run with this. And like, no, it's all equal. It's racial bias is against the law. So no, it's equal. Everyone's held equal under the law. And fuck you, dude. Fuck off. So you could take the perspective that your Chud is sacrificing himself here to say, hey, this is the situation. Look at it. So your Chud, He got charged with murder. I believe this African is dead, and this guy is being charged with murder. Held on a $1.25 million bond, as I am understanding. Now this, in comparison to something like, who's that fucking kid, dude? The kid in Texas, I can't even remember the kid's name. This shit happens so much, I can't even remember. The kid in Texas that got stabbed through the heart, is that African that brought a knife to a track meet, a big fuck-off knife, and then went around looking for confrontation, and when he finally got one, Austin Metcalf, that was the kid, stabbed the kid straight through the fucking heart, and then, yeah, but he called me the magic word. And then the kid got out on a $200,000 bond. So a quick look at the bond system. This is based on English common law. Like, I looked a while at being a fucking bounty hunter after I got out, and it's, one, that's an extremely uphill, absolute ball break of a dick dance. I did it for like a week, and the people I had to work with and the people I had to engage with, it wasn't a full tilt, effort. I didn't stand up a fucking office or whatever. But I did sit down with a few people. I went to a few places, talked to a few people, this kind of thing. And it was stupid, dude. I was like, this is balls. Like, I'm out here in the middle of the fucking night, and I enjoy a dive bar when I want to go to a dive bar, but going to shitty dive bars, shitty apartment complexes, shitty housing projects, I'm like, fuck this, dude. This is balls. And a lot of times, you would think like these fucking, these bail bondsmen and shit, like, dude, as soon as the guy goes, you fucking call. Like, you got a job already. Don't fucking sit here and dick dance for the next 100 years. Like, pick up the motherfucking phone and dial, so a guy can get on this. But they'll wait, and they'll fuck around, and they'll try to do it themselves. And then when it's finally like, okay, well, we got like a week to dig this idiot up, then it's like, all right, well, thanks for calling at the last fucking second. So it was stupid. I did not continue with that. In any case, I digress. But the bond system, this is based off of English common law, where if you would fuck up, in jolly old England, essentially you become, as you already are, subject, yes, of the crown. So they can essentially put you, their property, in jail where you can't get into any more mischief until they can get this whole thing sorted out. The concept of a bond, then, is to take property, take some of your other property, and put it, in their possession in lieu of you. So in the States, this has become more like holding your shit ransom, where like I have your house for ransom. You ain't going fucking anywhere without your fucking house, So if you run off, I get your fucking house. If it was me, I can tell you this, dude. If it was me and it's like, we're going to hang on to your house, you can go walk around, and then you're going to be staring at this absolutely two-tiered kangaroo court fucking Nuremberg caliber bullshit justice system, and good luck getting a fair fucking shake. I think if that was the case, I would probably be like, yeah, you know what? You go ahead and keep the house. I'll live in a fucking apartment. I'll live in some other fucking country. I will not go spend the next, 20, 40, 50 fucking years locked up with outdated farm equipment just because you fucks want to see me disappear. I don't want any house that bad. Sorry, everybody else. If somebody else, had a hand in that house, like you're shit out of luck too. So anyway, he gets this outrageous fucking bond. The kid that killed Austin Metcalf, that kid's bond was like $200,000. And now you could say, like, well, yeah, but, that kid's fucking poor and his house, that's as much as he had. I don't give a fuck. The incentive there, the concept there is to keep you from running off. That's the point of the bond. Yes, that's the point of that bail system, is to keep you from running off so that the crown or the government has some hold on you so that you can go to trial. And, in a sane world, this would make sense, But here, we're dealing with these Africans. And even in spite of the fact that kid got a metric fuck ton of money, like all of these shifty Africans sending basically your tax dollars in to support him, $200,000 was easy. And then they went on to buy some ridiculous house, a bunch of cars, and then immediately came back with, yeah, but I ain't got no money. I need a public defender and shit. I don't know how that thing ever panned out. I'd like to see. I want to see when that's supposed to get handled. Anyway, So this Chud situation, then, what they're saying, one of the reasons that they're saying that this guy is being charged is because he had a history of online of provocation, right? So what they're suggesting then is that even though he did not walk up to this guy and say, "Hey, hard R, you gonna chimp out? What you gonna do?" Even though he didn't do that, he had done it online, and this guy was aware of it. And that constitutes sufficient provocation for this African to roll up and take a swing at him. That's the argument that's being put forward. Because I'll tell you, what I haven't seen is, yeah, but, your Chud, he walked right up to, and as soon as he walked out of the courthouse, he started in with them again with like, "Hey, you gonna chimp out? What are you gonna do? You hard R, you hard R." All of this kind of thing. I haven't heard that. Okay, what I have heard is, yeah, but like online, bro, like he was like online and saying stuff, and that's like provocation, bro. So like, it's not self-defense anymore. Okay, then, if that's your argument, then, if your argument is that if you're a white person who has ever, in the presence of some other African, said, you dropped your hard R, said, "Hey, you gonna chimp out, do any of this," something that would spin up a darkie, what's the criteria then for somebody who wasn't there or wasn't affected by this? What's the criteria for sufficient provocation? Does it have to be just one time? Does it have to be 10 or more times? Does it have to be the hard R? Can it be just anything that upsets an African? Because, if you think about it, these people are dropping the hard R 100 times a minute. They say 100 different things all of the time that you are not allowed to say as a white person. So what we're really saying here is it's not the word, it's that you said it. And it's not even that you said it, it's how they feel about it. So the law is entirely based on how Africans feel, how you're making them feel. Because they say it to each other, that's fine. But if you say it to them, that makes them feel bad, and now you are a problem. So my question is then, how many times must you have said it? Who must have witnessed it? What is the criteria for prior provocation? Like you said this before. You're not saying it to me right now, but you said it before. So that's sufficient provocation for me to roll up and just punch you whenever I see you. If that's the game you want to play, then what can we assume? We can assume that if any African says about any white person, "Well, that guy, he dropped that hard R and shit," you got to punch him whenever you see him. They could say that about anybody. They could say it about literally anybody. "Yeah, I heard him say that shit in the bathroom." And now a whole gaggle of darkies can start beating on you the second they see you anywhere. Okay, if that's the logic, then perhaps every white person should assume that any black can make any accusation they want at any point in time about something you said at some point prior that nobody currently standing there might have even heard. But if they say you said it, that's good enough. Nobody has to be present for that. And if that's the case, I suppose we should all be prepared to defend ourselves accordingly. Really, and I saw a take about this yesterday, that really the black has become like a kind of a god in America. We build giant structures dedicated to the athletes among them. We tailor sports around the way that they like to play those sports. Because, dude, look at your modern basketball situation. This is not the sport that Dr. James Naismith invented. This is something much, much else. But people like to go and pay a shit ton of money to watch this African go running off, take 3-4 steps. It's kind of sort of like it's bending the rules, but people like to see it. It's what they enjoy. So there's this huge push to make these sports adhere to the way these people like to play these sports. There's incredible amounts of Hebrew money dumped into getting these sports into every living room in the country. And as a result, what should be otherwise reasonable white women are pursuing these idiots. There's laws against the things that you're allowed to say in front of them. Certain things you absolutely may not say. There are words you may not utter. If you're even rumored to have said something that you should not have said, be it the magic word or some other word, or just your tone, just the way you was disrespecting them, then they can physically assault you. Now, if the shoe was on the other hand and you just rolled up and said, I didn't like his attitude, so I just beat the shit out of him, you would get locked up immediately. If it was between two white people and you're working at a store and somebody walks up and somebody in customer service is short with you, or you're the customer service and some pushy woman comes in and you backhand her. I didn't like her attitude. You're going to jail, my friend. But in comparison, well, how about the black dude that killed some old man at a Dunkin' Donuts? Didn't like his attitude. He disrespected me. He called me that N-word. What happened to that guy? I don't think much at all happened to him. So this is where we're at. They're treated like gods in this country. So if we can assume then that, like, yeah, let's just get it out there, reveal it, put it in the open, that if you're even rumored to have said anything that any of them doesn't like at any point in time, now they can attack you. Well, if that's the precedent, go ahead and set that precedent. I mean, in that sense, Chud has really fucking backed them into a corner. Because now you either have to admit, if you're the government or you're some normie or some libtard, you either have to admit that these people can attack you at any point for any reason. All they have to say is, he disrespected me. I heard that he said this magic word at some point in time in the past. And that is sufficient to physically assault you and, like in the case of your Ethan Liming, kill you. Stomp you to fucking death. Because he said the magic word, and then when I tried to attack him, he had the balls to fight back. Of course I killed him. That's the fucking logic here. But what that also means is that if you're going to try to come to me with this idea of, no, bro, equal representation under the law, bro. Because I'll tell you this, when one of the dudes in the chat had put in there, hey, did that dude die? The dude that Chud shot, did that guy die? And I was like, I don't know, man. Let me just put you, and now, you type anything in and you're going to get like an AI answer straight away at the top. It's not just going to give you a bunch of websites. So I was on Brave AI that's supposed to be like not completely unfiltered, but it's supposed to be like, yeah, bro, fucking, we don't fuck around, bro. We're not like libtards, bro. Our server doesn't have purple hair, bro. Yeah, okay, man. So I put it in there. Hey, did that guy die? The guy with the Chud with the thing that got shot. Did that guy die? Oh, no, this guy, Jamie Foxx or whatever. No, yeah. No, I think it said he wasn't dead, but then like a day or something later, he did die eventually. Thank God, right? But so I put it in there and I'm asking. And then it's like, and then it was like what? Like the Chud, I can't remember the poor guy's name. Fucking, it was saying like the Chud was charged with murder or attempted murder at the time, plus aggravating factor of using a handgun in a dangerous felony. All of this shit, the way that they pile this shit on, public discharge of a firearm, pissing me off in public, having too big of a mustache, whatever. So they're hammering the guy with all these charges. And then it's like, elaborate? Do you have other questions? I'm like, yes, fuck stick, I do. So I go down the rabbit hole with this thing, and I mean, it was very clear that, like, and I could even ask it, if a white man, what are the conditions for assaulting another person? Is it just words? Oh, no, it's got to be an imminent threat. Okay, so words doesn't qualify. So you're saying in this case, words doesn't qualify? Well, no, this was provocation, bro. Yeah, but was it online or was it right then? Oh, it doesn't matter. He had a history, bro. He had a history of provoking. Yeah, this was justified. If a white man did it, would it be? And I asked it plain and simple. If the plain stupid question, if the races were reversed, if a white man did this to a black man who had been making racially charged comments online, would the black man be arrested for murder? Well, no, because to assault someone like that's crazy. You can't do that. You can't just attack somebody over words. Okay, then how is it? Well, that's different. But it was crazy. It was just in circles, and I mean, just blatantly like, no, it's not like that. Yeah, no, bro. I was taken aback. I was fucking taken aback. So for one, obviously, AI is dog shit. And two, the guardrails are up heavy on this fucking thing. I mean, it'll just talk itself in circles. It doesn't give a fuck. So what I think is interesting, though, is that what this should also mean, then, is if you're going to try to say, if you're still going to try to push this idea that there is any form of equal representation under the law, What this also means is that if you see any of these black people who say, oh, yeah, whites should be exterminated. Oh, yeah, I'm going to punch the first white man I see. Oh, yeah, the right thing to do is to whatever, some form of violence against any white person, any kind of disparaging remark against white people. What should we be able to say then? Well, I feel like I was duly provoked. Because what constitutes provocation? Only the way you feel about it. It all comes down to the way you feel. So if I feel provoked, then according to this legal precedent, I should be able to cruise up and beat the absolute shit out of any African who I believe has ever said any of these things. And if he tries to defend himself, well then guess what? It appears then that deadly force is now authorized. Because that's the precedent that has been set. So it kind of paints them into a corner where you're either going to have to say, all right, well, we're not really looking at everybody equally. We're giving these idiots, these extremely, extremely simple people, a set of training wheels to go through life, and we're going to give them a whole grip of free fucking passes to do whatever they want because we want to see them exterminate you. They're going to either have to say that or they're going to have to say, yeah, it's true. We are going to still try to maintain some semblance of following some form of constitution. So I guess if you guys really want to go at it and you want to do it like prison style in here, I guess go ahead. I guess that's legal now. Okay. And that's how it'll probably be. But you know what I think will probably come of this is that, you know what, the solution to this is that everybody just has to watch what they say now. We're going to start enforcing the law equally, but we're going to have to start policing what people say. People aren't going to be allowed to say anything. Of course, that's also going to get very, very complicated because how many blacks are going to wind up in prison now for using Mahard R in public? Because if you say this in public, and now white dude's going to be like, hey, guess what? Guess what's happening now? You're not allowed to use that word. It's illegal. Or are we only going to outlaw the hard R? So can we drop or can we roll with the modified now? Is that what we're doing? I mean, there's not really a winning scenario for Big Hebrew at this point. But what I do think will probably happen is I think the evidence will probably get cherry-picked. I think the things like this guy following your chud, picking a fight deliberately, I think that stuff will probably get brushed under the rug or somehow ruled out of evidence, and the guy will probably end up doing time. Or they'll just browbeat this son of a bitch so fucking hard that he takes the, what was that kid's name? James, shit, I can't remember that kid's name. That kid they just did that kid wrong, man. Fucking Antifa guys pointing fucking guns at him, people beating on his fucking car, and then that fat bitch dies of a heart attack, and that kid ends up with 100 fucking years, or not, what, like 400 years or some kind of shit. So it's, yeah, I mean, they'll bury the guy under the prison if they get a chance. But I don't know, I guess time will tell, but I think it is something that we would do well to stay on. But I tell you what I won't do, though, is I won't fucking play ball with cats like Nick Fuentes, blazing homosexual. And, dude, there's only two ways to say it. If you're going to say, because check this out, say whatever you want about your Dan Bilzerian, but the dude is rich, and the dude does know people who would know how to do the things that Nick Fuentes was suggesting that he was asking him about. So I saw this take that, so either Nick Fuentes is an absolute bullshit artist because this guy is asking a little teenage homosexual how he would go about kinetic action, which is either bullshit, or he was just fucking around and did say something like that, and Nick is a fucking informant. Either way, he's no fucking good. Either fucking way, he's obviously a fancy Dan little fucker. So pretty much anything that comes out of that guy's mouth, I think where we used to be able to say like, yeah, the guy's got a couple of good takes here and there. It's just this other bullshit. To me, I can't listen to a thing that guy fucking says because everything that comes out of his mouth, even if it sounds like a good idea, it almost immediately follows on with something fucked up. It immediately follows on with, and that's why your daughter should be dating a black guy. And that's why you should be voting for a Jewish woman in Ohio. No, friend, I don't think I will. So with that, man, I'm at the airport. I'm running a little bit late, so I got to get in here and let Shaniqua hassle the shit out of me. But Until we meet again, you got the details, man. Oh yeah, buy some Above Time coffee. It's a white product made by white people for white people. Put it in a cup, put it in your mouth. It's for you. You know where you can find this stuff. Leave it where somebody else can find it. Until we meet again, keep your eyes on the horizon. Keep your neck out of the noose. I have been Coffee, and these are my takes.